I'm Liz Da Vinci, and I'm here with a welcoming. So if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves and what you play, what instrument you play, that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm James. I do lead vocals and rhythm guitar mostly.
My name is Vitor Sá. I'm from Brazil and I play bass and I do try some backing vocals sometimes.
Cool,
My name's Spencer. I play guitar and I do the high singy parts in the choruses.
cool, cool. I listened to your guys' album today,
Oh,
um,
nice.
from 2021, November. Very,
Yeah,
very cool. I loved it.
it's hard to believe it was that long ago.
It flies.
Yeah, we've got an EP that well, you've heard the one song from the EP that we're about to release.
I was blown away, but I won't say anymore.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, I really loved it. So, okay, so when are you guys going to release an EP and how many tracks is it going to be?
It's four real tracks plus one bonus track that consists of a voicemail about our drummer getting kicked out of a grocery store that I turned into a song. So
Cool.
I know
What
that
did
one's
he do?
funny, but it is fun. They called a Ken to like the office area, and he was like, "Oh, they must be calling me." So he went there and he was escorted out.
Cool. It's worth a song, a track.
Yeah. It's fine. We don't have a solid release date yet. We're working up to it. We're actually after this, we're gonna film us talking about the EP and make some videos about it, so we can have some
Yeah,
stuff to
that's
to help
very
market
cool.
it.
Cool. I had prepared some questions, but at the last minute, I actually went in and I asked Chat GPT to come up with a few questions for a metal band. I know you're metal rock, and
Yeah.
whatever, it came up with some pretty cool things. So if I can find it, I'll ask you one of them.
Yeah, cool. I did see that you're on an AI kick recently.
Yeah, exactly. I just got into it, so I figured why not exploit it. So,
Um,
okay, this one was metal is known for its intense energy and powerful performances. How do you prepare yourselves both mentally and physically for your live shows? And this is relevant to you guys because I see that's mostly what you're doing. You're playing all the time. I mean, it's awesome. You're in Asheville, right?
yeah, we're in Asheville. We've been playing roughly once a month in town, and then we're starting to play cities outside of Asheville too. So
Very
yeah.
cool.
I've been talking a lot. So when you guys, yeah.
For me, it's like it's a different vibe when you're jamming at the studio. I have beers, I get drunk sometimes, but it's just like before a show, I always try to like concentrate and not like drink a lot and because like the welcoming some parts are really hard to play and
Yeah,
sing at the same time and it's just like I don't want to be in the stage and just like not giving a good show for me. As soon as I start playing with the banner, it's like okay, I want to take this serious, and when I'm live, I want to give the audience a good performance,
yeah,
basically.
I think
I
just
like that.
trying to relax and like simplifying your getting to playing music process. Like
Hmm.
as a small local band, you have to, drive your stuff to the show. You have to unload to the
Yeah,
show. You have to set up on stage. You have to break down on stage. So I think getting that process really dialed in is helpful to have some like typical normalness from show to show,
hmm,
and then just like really enjoying the time that you're up there. I
yeah.
think everybody, always gets a little bit nervous, and then once you really like relax and start enjoying yourself, that's when you play the best.
That is the best. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I've been trying to get to a point where I can play tight but feel loose at shows, and it's only
yeah.
happened a couple times.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I I've I wrote most of the music, so it's my fault, but it's not easy to play. But
Yeah,
yeah, I usually I'll have like a couple PBRs, and that's my I need a beer that's really close to water,
You gotta stay hydrated.
so I can stay hydrated. Yes, that's very important.
yeah,
Because otherwise your body just can't get the hydration from all the other nutrients.
yeah.
No, yeah. So, and I've been just like kind of before the show, I'll just play guitar unplugged, warm up a little bit, just play some of the more challenging riffs,
Yeah.
and then probably mess them up anyway.
Ah, it's the thing about performing that's so fascinating is that the only way to get better at it is to do it. You can't practice it without doing it. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it such a cool challenge, really.
Yeah, for sure. And it's extra tough for me since I'm a drummer. So this is my first band where I've been doing the frontman thing.
Yeah, I know that I can relate to that too, because for years and years, I mean, I played solo piano. So as a soloist, sure, I was out there in front of people, but I played with a lot of singers and I was always the background person. And that made me feel so relaxed. I never had
It's a
issues when I
different world.
performed. Yeah. But once you're in front, it's like, oh God.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Because I never had a problem with backing vocals. Because you're more the support rather than the lead. So
Yeah,
whenever
therefore
it's
you feel the responsibility, you feel like I can't screw this up for that person.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now whenever Spencer takes over doing he'll sing the choruses because he's got a little higher voice for me, so he
Yeah.
gets those high notes a little bit easier than I can. So and I'll just do like the harmony underneath usually, and I feel so comfortable.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice to
Like
switch it out.
yeah, I can just move around. I don't have to care about like getting my mouth right on the perfect position in the mic because it's backing vocals. I can be a little quieter. So yeah, but yeah, it's a team effort.
Yeah, cool. How long have you been in Asheville? Because I don't think you're not from Asheville, James. Or how long have you guys been there? How'd you guys meet?
I think most people that are in Asheville are transplants from somewhere. My wife and I moved here in like mid 2020 in the middle of the pandemic.
Ah, not that long ago.
Yeah,
Cool.
so yeah, we're relatively new to the area, but we like it quite a bit. We went to we kind of toured around and went to a bunch of cities in the south, a little bit closer to family.
Yeah, cool.
And we really liked Asheville, so we wound up landing here.
When we lived in in Florida and we almost moved to Asheville. We drove up to Asheville, but the problem was we were living in Florida and then we drove there in the winter and we were like, no, I can't take this winter. But it was such a cool place and it's really artistically, there's a lot going on. So
Yeah,
cool.
there's definitely like I see a really good music scene in here in Asheville. Like there is a lot of like small music venues,
Yeah.
but also big music venues opening. Like Orange Peel is one of the traditional music venues in here. There's like over 20, 30 years. I don't even know, but there is Rabbit, which is like another big venue that is opening. Like breweries are opening music venues. So I think that uh Asheville is becoming a really nice music spot in North Carolina. It is interesting. Like we went to a show, and like the biggest venue in Asheville, which was like Mastodon and Gojira, and it was packed. It was like sold out. It was just like, oh, it's so interesting to see that Asheville has a really good music, a good metal and rock audience. Like people actually go to shows.
That is so cool. And what about you? You're from Brazil. How did you end up in Asheville? And how do you like it? I mean, you like it obviously, but
I visited Asheville about 10 years ago the first time, and Asheville was starting to become like this big brewery and art like center in Western North Carolina. And I decided to move in like 4 years ago. I was working at a grocery store at some time. At that time, for me, it was easy to just transfer.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
And I just love the city. It has kind of like everything I like. It has all the nature around, and again, really good concerts and good beer, good food. It's just like everything. I kind of like it. And good friends in here. I feel that like moving from another country, like I feel that these guys here are kind of like my family and my good friends in here in Nashville. So it's just like moving to a different country. It's just like, oh, I have my friends in here. It's nice playing a band. It's just like doing something.
Yeah, that's so important. Yeah, to have people you feel that way about. Cool. And what about you? Are you from Asheville?
I've been here for about 15 years, but originally from Winston-Salem, which is like 2.5 hours east of here.
Yeah.
So pretty much here at this point.
Yeah. 15 years, you like it.
I guess, yeah, I would be the native North Carolinian here. And Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Ken can't speak for himself because he's not here.
Exactly. Should I pull another ChatGPT question?
Yeah, let's hear what the computer has to say.
Okay. Metal often tackles themes of darkness, introspection, and social issues. Can you share some insights into the lyrical inspiration behind your songs and how you convey those messages?
Yeah, I mean that's not far off, honestly. I
I
usually
know they're good questions.
yeah, I tend to write about things that piss me off or like things that move me
I
in general.
understand.
But usually it's like me kind of working through frustrations on either society or like interactions I've had in my personal life. So
Yeah.
yeah, not a lot of you know cookie cutter love songs in this band.
Yeah.
But who's to say? And then otherwise it's kind of a mix of that stuff, and then sometimes I'll kind of just tell a story or like
Yeah.
I've been trying to like merge all that stuff together, and so like here's a song about like capitalism, but actually it's a metaphor.
Yeah.
You
Lyrics
think
are
it's about
fun.
sharks, but it's not.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
I'm I'm new to being a lyricist too, so it's I feel like I'm definitely learning.
Yeah, I like your lyrics. I like what I've read of them. I didn't read them all, but very cool.
Thank you, thank you.
And do you guys have a favorite song from that album? I mean, it can be different, obviously. I mean, you can have a favorite
Yeah,
because it's a favorite to play, or you can have a favorite because it's a favorite to hear, or because it was fun to create, but
For me,
just a question.
from Decade. Yeah.
for me, for me, Scourge of Normalcy. For me, I think it was the first. I mean, when I first heard the entire album, was the one that stand out for me because it has a really good intro
Yeah.
and the tempo is really good. Like the chorus is really hard on drums and bass, and it was just like, what the heck is going on here? And like the lyrics is also really good, and the
Yeah.
melodies and the harmonies, and just like I was really excited to play this song. And we took like 1 year and a half to actually start playing that song because we knew that that song was going to be hard to play together,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we still haven't like mastered, to be honest. We still like
Yeah.
we still struggle to play that song live, but for me, from the album, that one is my favorite.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's one of it's tough because like I wrote like all these songs with the intention of potentially playing it with a band, but then the reality of doing that is like, all right, well, there's all these layers that we can't do, which
Yeah.
is fine. We're doing like the bar band version.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but yeah, it's been really interesting to see what translates live, and what people are interested in. Because like for me, like I think my favorite song was Final Operation.
Hmm.
Um, but it doesn't seem like people are as excited about it as I am. So
Yeah,
I
that
think we're
can
gonna have to
happen
move on,
too. It's
have to
funny,
move
huh?
on from it at some point. But
Yeah.
yeah, what about you, Spencer?
I think mine from Decade Remade is Orchestrators of War or Snakeholder. I think both those are really interesting and fun to play live. Orchestrators is like the bite-sized version of kind of what the whole album sounds like.
Yeah.
Got some really cool guitar work in there that you don't often hear, um, like in other bands. It's got a bunch of like moving harmonies, single line harmonies during the verse, which is
Yeah.
really different. It's got a fun chorus and it's got like a breakdown halfway through. So it's like a bite-sized version of everything. And then Snakeholder is like kind of the old school metalcore kind of banger song. That's really fun, really
Yeah.
fun. So I think those two would be my favorite for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great album. What about does your new EP have a theme?
Yeah, the well, the theme is water, um,
Okay.
which is something that lyrically kind of came up by accident. So uh, I usually don't go into an album trying to write lyrics around a theme, but usually
Yeah.
themes will kind of emerge over time organically. So
Hmm.
uh, the EP is going to be called Neptune. You know,
Oh yeah, I have seen that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you're
Right.
one of
Oh,
the
I've seen
you've
it.
seen the artwork.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, Roman god of water, also the one of the planets. So
Yeah.
we
Very
like our
cool.
double meanings.
I look forward to it. Yeah.
Nice.
So did you do I'm sure you probably did new experiments in these new songs on the EP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the cool thing about this is since it's no longer a solo project, this was the first one where like each one of us contributed at least a riff or an idea to each one of the songs.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. So even there's one song that I mostly wrote, but then Spencer wrote a bunch of guitar leads on top of it. So, nothing was really like a one-man thing for this one. There's the song in memory, the one that you've heard, is actually a combination of ideas from both of these two.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I think I forgot to ask, how did you guys meet?
Oh yeah, I think we skipped over that.
Okay.
So Ken, who's not here, I met because we both tried out as a drummer for a local band, and we were both rejected.
Aha.
So, but the dude put us in touch with each other, and I joined Ken's band for a little bit as the drummer. He was the guitarist,
Yeah, cool.
and I kind of started the welcoming kind of in the middle of that.
Hmm.
And then we kind of both felt like that was more worth our time focusing on it. So we,
Yeah.
because he was really into it. I obviously am into it, but I think Ken's our number one fan. So he even was willing to play drums for this album, for this project, when
Yeah.
we found Spencer. But these two I had found through Craigslist actually.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
it
it's a
works
good way.
sometimes. Yeah.
And how did you get the idea for the name, The Welcoming?
It's an old project. Yeah. I can't totally remember how the name came up. It was like an old brainstorming session that
Mhm.
happened at some point. But it's got like double meanings again.
Yeah.
Because we're either welcoming you, or you could use it as in terms of like an ambush. That can be
Hmm.
another definition of the welcoming that's not usually used. But
It's a good name, and somehow I also remembered it always. Some names you somehow don't. You think,
yeah,
"God, what was that website?" But some names really stick. Somehow
yeah,
that one did.
The website is thewelcomingmusic.com.
yeah. Thewelcomingmusic.com is our stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's tough to find a name that that's easy to remember, easy to pronounce, has like thematic implications, and this puts you in the right genre. So it's tough. But
I agree. Metal bands often have a distinct visual aesthetic. How important is the band's image and stage presence in conveying your music's essence?
would you
Oh,
guys
man.
want to take this?
I'll,
one?
ta- I'll take it. I'll take it. I've been playing music live since I was probably not legal enough to get into bars, like 14. My parents had to drive us to shows. And at that time, I was like really into punk music. And part of punk is like the stage presence, the intensity of the show.
Yeah,
Um, the Ramones aren't known for their incredible, progressive songwriting or fancy jazz chords.
exactly right.
And I think that's something I've held on to, is like people don't come out to your shows to see you stand there and stare at your guitar neck. And I think that's something that all of us really think as well, is like you're there to put on a show,
Totally.
make the music sound as good as it can be. But also, it's definitely a visual medium.
Mhm.
Any band corporate thing, we have our color scheme and logo and all that stuff. But I think the visuals at Showtime are really important too.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting because when it's like we say they're in the gray area between rock and metal, but I
Hmm.
think that we have yeah. Is there
That's
a
very cool.
clustering head?
Sorry, it's mirrored. I can't tell which way I'm supposed to move it. All right.
Very cool.
But when I think that we are on the stage, we are like a truly rock band, because we like the way I see metal bands nowadays, they're just so technical. They just like stay on the stage and they play so hard because everything is so perfect, and it's just like there is not a lot of stage presence.
Yeah.
And for us, it's just like we do have that technicality, but it's just like we are truly a rock band in our head. So that's why it's just like when I play on the stage, we headbang, we dance, we jump. We
Hmm.
just like, because we are having a good time. And that's why when I think about, like James said like a few minutes ago, just like if we mess up, we're gonna mess up. It's fine. We're a rock
Yeah.
band. It's gonna move over. And what is important is that we are having a good time, and the audience here like can see that, and they can also have a good time with us.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, live is live. Mistakes can happen. It's not the end of the world. It's
Yeah, they
part of
can
it.
and they will.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so jealous of these guys when we play because I'm so anchored at the mic, like for most of the at the most for the most part for most songs. So
Yeah.
it's like intros and outros. I get to like move around and rock out with these guys a little bit.
Yeah. It's your fault though. You wrote most of the music that
It's
way.
my fault. Yeah, I need to be more patient with my songwriting.
Yeah.
Make people wait for some vocals a little bit
Yeah,
longer.
exactly.
Instrumental music. Let's just
Yeah,
make
yeah, we could.
And so all of you guys have played, and I mean, you talked already about how you've been playing in clubs since you were super young. Does that go for all of you guys? Have you always been rockers or punks or whatever and playing in bands since you were like in high school or
Yeah, I've been in bands since I was in high school for sure.
yeah.
My first band was a Blink 182 cover band.
Uh-huh.
We played house parties.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
short-lived, but you got to start somewhere.
Oh yeah, totally. That's interesting.
Yeah. What about you, Vitor?
I play bass since I was like 13, 14. I'm 39 now, but and I
Cool.
play in a band in Brazil for like 5 years at college, and we play like in big festivals there. It was fun, but it was like
Oh
a pop rock band, and I kind of stopped playing bass for over 10 years because it was like dedicating to photography.
wow. Oh
And
wow.
like prior to meeting these guys, I was like, I'm just gonna start playing bass again. I'm just gonna take the blocks that I'm not a good place, not a good bass player. I'm just gonna play whatever I can.
Yeah.
And I met these guys, and I was like, oh, a band that is gonna challenge myself to become a better bass player. So
Yeah.
that's when I started playing bass again. And it was funny because right before joining the Welcome, I auditioned for a country band. It was like, I just want to play bass in any band. It
I
doesn't matter.
understand. Yeah.
I didn't even like country, but I would just go for it. And I didn't get the part, but right after I got on Craigslist again, and I just got on the Welcoming, which is like my favorite genre. I really have a good time playing him.
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool.
That's a better fit.
Yeah. What could you guys each mention like a couple of your biggest influences?
Yeah, for me, Thrice, Cave In, A Perfect Circle are the ones that often come out in my writing,
Mm-hmm.
at least for this project.
Cool.
I would say that Tool, Rush, it's a big influence for me, but I do listen a lot of funk and
Uh-huh.
jazz as well. So uh, I think that a lot of that comes from my influence. But I think that my favorite bass player is from Rush, and
Uh-huh.
maybe Billy Sheehan from Mr. Big. It's just like some of the guys that really like it.
What jazz do you like?
Like I be listening to a lot of like
Sorry.
Marcus Miller, Victor Wooten because they are bass players, but I
Uh-huh.
kind of go, sometimes like I drive Uber and Lyft, so I listen to jazz 8-10 hours a day. So I just go for like, oh, I'm gonna put some guitars and no horns and like bass and drums. So I go from everywhere. But
Yeah.
on artist specific, I really like Marcus Miller. He's one of my favorite bass players right now.
Yeah. Nice.
Spencer?
I listen to a lot of different stuff. 4 Year Strong is one of my favorite bands. They're like
Mhm.
pop punk, like easycore.
Cool.
Periphery is obviously up there, and then some things on the other end of the spectrum. Some like country stuff.
Uh-huh.
Some Manchester Orchestra, who's coming to Asheville here in the next couple weeks. I'm excited to see. So kind of all over the place.
So do you guys have a pretty good group of fans that like to come to all your shows, or is it more, how does that work?
I think we've got a good turnout here in Asheville.
Yeah.
And it's growing outside. I think we've played Charleston, South Carolina 3 or 4 times now. And we're seeing,
Great.
folks that come back. And we've played Greenville once, which we're, trying to get in there. It's only an hour away basically from here. So we're trying to grow and get more people to the show.
Yeah.
It's definitely cool to see, especially folks come up after the show and tell us they enjoyed it. When we're on like a super metal bill or a super like math rock bill or something that might not think fits us,
Mm-hmm.
but people there at the show seem to like it. So that's always cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I was gonna say like it's funny. Our first show we ever played was at a house party, and it was packed.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, it's a party. no cover. So a
Yeah.
lot of people came to see, us play at our most nervous, except for
Yes.
Spencer's always loose. But
Cool
yeah,
gig though.
the rest of us were just like, oh God, especially me, like first time ever doing the frontman thing in front of a big audience.
Yeah.
So I hope they come back at some point and see that we've improved a lot.
It's the only way you can practice is to do it. And I mean, everybody gets nervous. The funny thing is, when I was really young and I was performing, I really didn't get nervous. I could just go up and a little bit nervous, right? But when I got older, it was like I realized how important it was to me and how important it was to me to make the impression I wanted to make. And then I kind of had this flip out thing with getting super, super nervous, and I had to work through it and stuff. And then I eventually did. But it's funny also how it can come and go. I mean, that's how, in my experience,
It's all mental.
it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a little premature to ask this maybe, but I am just interested how you foresee your future. Like, you've done this one album together, and now you're going to put out an EP. Is your focus more going to be on, I mean, I guess that's the hard thing when you're doing more live, you're probably doing less studio. I have an announcement. We have 10 minutes, so we can do a couple more questions. And
I just saw it pop up.
oh, you saw it too. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of, sometimes people ask me something like that, and you have something in mind, but you never really know what your future is going to be. You're kind of going in the now the whole time. But do you think you're going to try to do another album or focus more on live, or?
Yeah, it's really all a balancing act because time that we're spending preparing for live shows is time that we could be spending doing other stuff. So like
Yeah,
recently we haven't practiced in a couple weeks because we've been like doing promo photos and we're about to do
exactly.
videos and that sort of stuff. So
Kind of bounce back and forth all over.
yeah, we're trying to like upgrade a lot of our shows into a little weekend tour.
Oh, that's cool.
Things. And I think that's going to be our focus for a little bit and kind of tour around the EP, tour around the EP.
Yeah, yeah. I get it.
Those 2 and 3 day tours.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure at some point we'll start getting tired of these songs and start wanting to write some new stuff. Maybe we'll just do a single next.
Yeah, that's a thing. It just moves organically.
That's one of the things that's nice about technology now, is being able to write and record your own things.
I agree.
This EP, we've been kicking around one of the earlier songs for like a year and a quarter, maybe now.
We played that at our first Tin Roof show.
Yeah, so we've been playing, and we've had like demo recordings of this stuff for a long time. And so I think people want to hear singles, people want to hear EPs. I'm not sure, except for like the diehard musicians, if there's a really like big want for full length or double albums, even though some folks seem to still be putting them out.
Yeah.
So I think if we find something that
want to do a double album again.
Yeah,
I've done that.
I think
it's so much time.
if we
no one wants it.
if we find something that resonates with us and we really like it, I don't
Yeah.
think we'll hesitate to spend time recording it.
Yeah,
and
I think it's the best answer. Absolutely.
But right now, we're really stoked on the EP and
Yeah.
getting it out there in front of folks.
That's totally the main focus. So, yeah. Are you guys gonna make a music video, or you just don't do that really?
I would like to. Yeah, we want to. We might wind up doing something just in here and mess around with lighting and try and do something cool. And then we've got like roughly $1,000 saved up from all our shows and merch sales and stuff. So we might pay someone to actually have a nice one done. We'll
Hmm.
see what we can find.
We'd have to fight over what song it would be because of the way the album was written. It was like
Right.
each song was a person's kind of baby in the band.
Yeah. Oh no.
So we would have to have a long conversation about which one is the one that we would put in the video.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Attachments. I have my favorite. It's the unknown, so it's just like it's my favorite to play, and I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I was thinking this on the way. I was just like, oh, it's nice. It would be nice making a video at some point. I was like, how would like, because I do photography, and it's like, how can we make this video happen? And so it's just like, maybe I think that now that we've been together for like a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Hmm.
I mean, we kind of played the first album and we got together, and this second, like this EP is it's a collective of everyone's idea. And I think that now we are just kind of like seeing what can we do in the marketing. Just like, oh, how can we invest this money? Are we planning more T-shirts? Are we planning T-shirts? Are we planning stickers? How are we gonna do in social media? I think that
Yeah,
there's all this other side of bands that people don't know, but we have to do it by ourselves. And it's just like, oh, maybe we should do a video for Reels, or we should do a video for something, or we need to do a post, or there's so much stuff that we
there's so many options. It's
it takes a time for practice, for example, or jamming together.
totally.
Yeah, it's funny. All that stuff really, it takes way more time than anything else.
Oh, I know. That's why I kind of come and go myself because I don't know. I couldn't imagine doing that day in, day out. People do stories and shorts and
Yeah.
posts and oh man, it's so time consuming.
Yeah, we try like there's like a little drip feed of content that we do usually. Like after shows, we'll get some photos and some videos that we'll put together, and
That's
it's
super
like
good. Yeah.
maybe 2 or 3 posts a week. I'm not trying to like post every single day, except sometimes on Twitter. But
Yeah.
that's just like here's me and my dumbass thoughts.
Yeah.
That's it's a low barrier to entry for Twitter.
So that the algorithm works in my favor. Yay.
Yeah, I need new music.
Oh God. Yes. Well, on that note, maybe I will say thank you guys so much for your time. And it was very interesting to get to know you and to hear your thoughts behind the music. And I really can't wait for the EP. And yeah, I'd say to everybody watching this interview, check them out, check out The Welcoming. I've also seen live stuff that you've done on YouTube and stuff. So there's stuff to be found. And
Yeah, thank you, Liz.
yeah.
Oh, hey, Ken. No, he's still not here yet.
He should show up right now. Cool.
Well, enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, you too.
We'll enjoy the rest of our day.
Sounds perfect.